Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind of Madness podcast with myself and the wonderful Sean. There he is. Oh, I've missed you.
Our hands are huge.
You have big hands. You know what they say about people with big hands, don't you?
They're good at making pizza.
Big gloves. And good at making pizza, probably. You know what? Yeah, you gotta smush that dough.
You can
Smush
spin it on one hand. Woo.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But yeah, quickly, how have you been, good sir?
Yeah. We had a little chat before we
Yes,
went
we
live. We have been all right. A little bit of a roller coaster week, but it's pretty leveled off now. I'm doing quite well.
That's the main thing.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, doing okay. A few health things, but you know, that's coming and going. We'll get through it. It'll happen. You know, what's new? Every week, I feel like when we start this, like, James, how have you been? More health shit.
Yeah. Let me look at my list.
Let me look at my list. What do
Let's
I choose?
read out my prescription.
I'm so glad I'm not taking any meds, though. That's one good thing I can say, at least. But yeah, no, it's been okay. Been streaming. That's still going. Still trying to raise money for the Alzheimer's Research UK. If you're interested, go and look it up. Go on, we'll wait. Yeah, but, so yeah,
Pause
no.
it right now.
go subscribe. No, don't subscribe, but donate. Yeah, no, it's been it's been good. It's been good. Bit stressful. We did miss a day, but I think, to be honest, you know, there are going to be days that you miss. You can't do it all the time. Life happens. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good, and few little changes to the setup and everything. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Not too bad. Overall,
Yeah.
good week, despite the health.
Well, that is good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be a good Easter weekend as well. Because the weather has started picking up a bit, but although massive black cloud just rolls in as I say that.
Well, fuck.
There goes that.
Yeah. No, hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully all of the listeners have a great Easter as well.
Yeah, enjoy your Easter.
I don't know why I'm saying that now. I should say that at the end, but.
Well, I mean, if you're watching this, enjoy your Easter. Have a good Easter. And of course, you know, make the
Next
most of
time.
it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That's it. We're over. Goodbye. But yeah, no. If you know, whatever you're doing for Easter, whatever plans you have, you know, be safe, look after yourselves, and have a good time. But be sensible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got any plans for Easter?
No, I'm literally on my own. Maybe treat myself to a little walk. Maybe, you know, invite a friend over or something. But yeah, that's literally nothing for now.
I feel really bad because I was like, oh, I could go up, but then it's like I literally can't. I wouldn't be able to get up in time.
No. And yeah, literally the motorways are blocked as shit. There's still like a queue at the end of our road to get on the motorway. So
Is it still there?
like, what the hell? But yeah,
What is happening?
it's a bit chaotic this weekend. I mean, I think they read that you said something about airports, like get there 4 hours before this weekend because it's like everyone's first chance to get away.
Yeah.
Since COVID hit. But yeah, I suppose that's a good segue into the news, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty good segue. let's go for it. Why not? Let's move on into our first topic, which is the news, which is always fun, never depressing, and never hurts our feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, some big news this week, actually. Some very big news.
Yeah.
What, do you want to start us off, or should I go?
You
first?
start us off.
Okay, so Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak aren't resigning. I don't know why. They were fined. The first time in history that a British Prime Minister has been found to have broken the law, and he's still there.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, it's just like words can't even say it. Like, it's been going on so long that literally everyone's sick of it, but at the same time everyone wants justice. But I don't know, it's very much two camps of people. It's like the people who've lost people over the course of the pandemic and who want justice, and, you know, like, well, I couldn't see my dying nan or dying parents while you partied, so what the hell?
I mean, he was like, didn't he say in his like speech, he was like, you know, I've paid the fine. Good for you. Now fuck off.
Yeah.
You've broken your own laws, you thick fuck. And Rishi Sunak, what? Like, how are these two morons even in their positions they're in? How have they got away with this?
You might as well come on TV at the very start of the pandemic and some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take.
Yeah. Just do a Lord Farquaad speech from Shrek. Just Some of you may die. But that's a sacrifice I am willing to take. It's like, just, you may as well. You may as well have Boris, because that's basically what you've done. And as for Rishi, I don't understand how he's in charge of the economy of the UK. I don't. His wife was found to be involved in some weird fucking tax thing or something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. She's, like, claiming to be not living in the UK, even though she is living in the UK in Downing Street, but no one mentions that. So she's claiming to be like an Indian resident so that she gets tax breaks. And she only pays tax on her UK income when she's like a ultra trillionaire in India and stuff. Just at the point where Rishi was putting up taxes for everyone else. That's why it's a massive...
and then he got fined. And it's like, why?
Yeah, I was quite surprised at him because he's like the front runner to kind of replace Boris. I thought, like, if Boris gets fined, then, and he resigns, Rishi might come in.
Well, apparently, and I don't know if this is true, I only saw like a headline on it, but apparently Rishi actually did want to step down. He had to be talked out of stepping down because it would have put pressure on Boris to step down as well. Yeah. Which, this is how fucked the governmental system in the UK is. In America, if that happened, the guy would be impeached. He'd be gone. But here, we're just like, fine.
It's a bit of cake and a party, a sausage roll, non-sausage roll, who cares?
It's a vegan sausage roll. No.
I paid my fine. It's nothing better than a speeding ticket.
Tell you what, Boris, stand in front of all the people that had to watch their family members disappear over a camera and then say that it doesn't matter and you're not going to resign. Then I'll say you have some bollocks. But right now, he's ran away.
Yeah. So, that group of people who's like, kind of emotional and kind of passionate about it, which quite rightly so. Yeah. And then there's groups of people who are like, what's it just about a cake? There's bigger fish to fry right now. Is Ukraine? He's doing very well in Ukraine.
Fuck, it isn't. It's just because he went over there. Just because he visited Ukraine. Oh, he's doing a fantastic job. Oh, fuck off. Why didn't you get hit by a bullet?
I know.
I mean, not literally. I'm not encouraging violence or death towards the Prime Minister. No.
It did feel a bit, the weekend where all these accusations came out and all these fines got issued and leaked. He just goes over to Ukraine in Kiev to just escape and, to look like an absolute Churchill hero by being the leader of the, the resistance.
And the taxing of poor people. It's just, I can't... I think the thing that gets me is, this is the kind of shit that you see in, like, films, like a government that's so incompetent that they just don't know what they're doing, basically. Yeah. And, like, we're living it. It's real. This is actually happening. I'm like, I just don't understand how nothing has been done about this. He broke the law. The first British Prime Minister in history to have been found of breaking the law. And yet, no, he's still there. And Rishi. And it's like, I think people... And I don't think anyone's going to ever have respect for him or any of... I think the Conservative Party are going to suffer greatly after this. Because this is just, I think... Well, I mean, unless they actually kick Boris out. I mean, I think that's the only way they're going to win the next election in 2 years.
Yeah.
And if they do win, then fuck this country. Like, the people who live here, you're all fucking idiots.
Yeah.
If you
I think it's like, if this has happened like 2 months ago when everyone was up in arms about it, I feel like he probably would have gone. But because they had to do an investigation and delay it all, conveniently wait until now.
Yeah.
I think like people, it's simmered down. No one's really bothered anymore. It seems in the Conservative.
No one's fucking talking about it either. Like no news place. News like you get your certain news places that are obviously biased one way or the other. I mean that's just that's how unfortunately news works. But no one is talking about this. Nobody. Exactly. I think there was. What's her name? I can't remember what her name was, but I think someone from the BBC interviewed him or something and basically just pressed him and said, are you going to resign now then? You've broken the law. You're the first Prime Minister to do that. Are you going to fuck off now? And he was just like, no. It's like, all right then. So, you've spat in our face. You've slapped us by having the parties.
For months.
You've lied constantly about Brexit, about COVID, about the money you spent, and even about breaking the laws that you made. And now you have officially just kicked us so hard in the crotch that we are infertile. And you are still going, nah, I'm not helping you up.
But Putin will be laughing at us if we replace our prime minister now.
Why do you think he's not threatened by us?
I think Putin's threatened by Boris anyway.
He just looks at Boris and goes,
yeah, this is the West.
I could fucking wipe them out. They're not a problem. Fucking, let's have a look at America. I'll focus there and NATO, because they're the ones that I need to certainly focus on. Fucking UK. Look at them trying to fucking help. Like, and I think it's fucking annoying, man, because, you know, I say this every week, but I'm not a patriotic person. But to see this kind of shit happening to the country that I live in, just watching it basically just become like an aristocratic fucking shithole of just people that are rich, are great and have everything, and the people at the bottom, like me, like you, like, you know, everyone, like 90%, like 90% of this fucking country are just sitting here going, fam.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, we're just the beggars in the pits.
Yeah, and it's
Help us.
like, all right, we might be living in the 25th century with all this wonderful technology, and it's so amazing. Our ideology hasn't changed since the 1700s. Literally, it's still the fucking same. Rich there, poor there, middle class. Fuck it, put them down there with them. Like,
yeah.
It's I can't wrap my head around how it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
That's given me a good discussion for the interesting section, actually.
Ooh,
Class system.
it's a good conversation that we can have over some tea later.
Yes, or some peach juice.
Peach juice. Ooh, nice choice. But yeah, I mean, what's kind of your overall thoughts on it then? I mean, a stupid question, but do you think he needs to resign? Do you think he should stay there to show support until this Ukraine shit is sorted? Or
Yeah, I think he should definitely have resigned from this. Like, it's breaking the ministerial code. What's the point of a code or anyone if no one's held to account for anything in the government?
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't matter the fact that we're in a war. We've been in wars and we had, prime ministers replaced before, you know?
Yeah, Churchill wasn't there at the beginning of the war. He got put in there.
Yeah.
When the war happened, you know.
Yeah.
So
of course, it is a big fish to fry, as they say.
But it's not, absolutely.
It doesn't mean that we can't replace and maybe get someone even better to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as horrible as it is, it's not actually happening on our doorstep, right now.
We're very lucky in that sense.
We're lucky, yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, we are going to get on the topic of Ukraine. There's a lot to discuss on that, of course. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just an embarrassment, man.
Yeah.
I don't normally give a shit, but this genuinely upset me quite a lot, because I was thinking, I've watched my mum work in the NHS and seen how all the shit she's had to go through, and then you know, my granddad, the entire process was fucking marked with rules and restrictions and shit that we could and couldn't do. Like, my nan having the stroke at the beginning of COVID, she picks her timings. You know, and following all the rules to a T, just had to be slapped in the face, basically, by a man who can't even brush his own hair. I don't know. How about this? To anyone, if anyone sees this who has any modicum of power, or anyone else, just stop feeding this man his wet dream, right? He wants to be known as Churchill. Fucking take it away. If he stays until the next election, 2 years, that sets a precedent unparalleled to any other country that, hey, even if you break the law, who gives a fuck? That's not normal, and it's such a dangerous. How do you think fucking Putin started? That's the worry here, right? It starts somewhere.
Let the polls decide, you know, his fate. Huh?
I mean, if again, right, people. I'm not saying just go over to Labour, right? I understand that not Labour. Labour is not everyone's cup of tea. It's not fully my cup of tea. But you cannot be serious in voting in the Conservatives again. You can't. This is ridiculous. 2 years' time, please, let's change how this country works. Let's not just sit down and be like, oh, we're British. We just take it up the arse it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just kind of a bit of a laughing stock. It's like, he's not going to resign, so we just got to kind of get on with it. You know, that's the keep calm and carry on. That's also about way.
Just keep calm and carry on. Just chaos around us. No, I will keep calm.
This is fine.
But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to something a little more important. Well, no, they're both just as important, but more upsetting and more emotionally devastating, I guess.
Yeah.
The Ukraine war, obviously a lot's happened.
Yeah.
I've only got a few things marked down, but we'll get through as much as we can. Yeah, so first things first, Russia's lost their first warship since the World War II.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. I think it's Moskov. Moskov?
Yeah, Moskva, something.
Moskov.
It's like Russian for Moscow, so
Yeah.
Moscow has fallen.
Yes. Sorry, the people of Russia, but yes.
Apparently, it was hit by a Ukrainian or missile or two, and it's quite very kind of sneaky how they've done it because they kind of like distracted it with the drone first, so that all the anti-aircraft like things will zoom in on that, and then they like hit it with a thing. It's like straight out of a espionage film,
straight out of a Call of Duty game.
And then that caused a fire, which ultimately led to irreparable damage, which led to it to sink.
Yes. I mean, good on Ukraine. I think the Ukraine. I think Zelensky did say, didn't he, that he was going to start pushing back now because he's, they've defended, they've done a fantastic job, but they need to start showing a bit more force.
Yeah,
I think it's well, any war is disgusting. Like this war was needlessly started, but I mean, I think if there's something we can learn is, Zelensky is a war hero, despite the fact he was a comedian. Fucking Ukraine is clearly not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
Like, these people are so resilient. Like, it's
they've fought back so hard that, I think they've caused Russia to change their plans and just want to capture the east of Ukraine.
Yeah. Because that was something they said, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they're kind of like switching their tactics and just kind of going full ham into the east. So, I mean, I don't know whether this is part of like a compromise kind of thing, but we'll see how it goes. They are showing very stoic heroism.
Yeah, it's crazy. 50 days now, isn't it?
50 days, and
nuts.
Countless war crimes have been committed. We've all seen the streets of Bucha. This
is a fucking another thing, like fucking UN being like, oh, we need to investigate. Investigate fucking what? You useless sacks of shit. Look at the photos. That is enough. I think there was like a Russian show, like a Russian television show that was trying to debunk the truth. And they were showing footage of like this army doll being like painted up, or the civilian doll being painted up to like lie on the ground. Turns out it was from a show on the BBC or something, or ITV, that had been filmed back in 2017.
Yeah, that's just the level of propaganda and like the things they're willing to do to just make sure, it was a fake, it's all fake,
Yeah, it's nuts to me. And like some of the disgusting stuff, obviously we talked about last time, like some of the horrific stuff that happened, just on the borders of Kiev and the first areas that were taken over by Russians. But yeah, there's been a lot more victories for I say Kiev, but Kiev and Ukraine, I feel, more recently. Obviously it's still ongoing, so I think the fact that there even has to be a discussion of victory is unfortunate, but didn't they take back Chernobyl as well?
Yeah, I think that's been reclaimed.
They were like, oh, what have we done here? They started getting sick.
There's still like Ukrainian forces in Mariupol, which is like the last standing kind of main place of the east. Yeah. So it's kind of sad because it's like ultimately, I don't know, it may fall ultimately, but they're kind of just persevering and keeping on pushing back, and these little surprise attacks like the Russian warship going down, that will have like completely floored like some generals in the army, and like it's a pride and tactical advantage.
Definitely. It's an incredible resilience that I don't think anyone expected, including Putin. But yeah, Putin changed his war general as well very recently. It's no longer the same guy anymore, which I'm not surprised at. But this guy that Putin's apparently put in charge is notorious for
using chemical weapons.
Doing whatever he has to do to win. So a lot of people have kind of speculated that they reckon if chemical weapons weren't used before, they're definitely going to be at some point now, which is a terrifying thought. Yeah. But I mean, I think they've used stuff like vacuum bombs, things like that recently, which is
thermobaric missiles and all this kind of thing.
Oh, fucking hell!
Apparently, there was reports of like some kind of chemical weapon being used above one city in Ukraine. I don't know if it's Mariupol, but apparently it's like some kind of agent which causing respiratory problems. But
Jesus.
I mean, that was all. It's not been confirmed, so you can't
Yeah.
completely say that they've used chemical weapons.
Well, I can say this much: Putin's a
They have
war criminal. Yes, he started a war out of nothing, like literally. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. The guy is a literal war criminal.
Yeah,
The
and
man
they're throwing
should
out
be
all
held
these
to account.
accusations. Oh, you can't leave Russian oil and gas. Like
Yeah.
it will be a declaration of war to sanction us, and all
they
these
have.
stupid, yeah, all these stupid things that they're pouring out. Well, it's also a declaration of war to invade a sovereign nation.
Yeah, it is. It's scary, and I do think Russia have ramped up quite a lot as well. There was reports just today of and last night in Kiev they've been hit by even more missiles. Kiev is starting to look pretty fucked up now, which is obviously if they I think that's pretty much what Russia are going for at this point. It's just to level Kiev, level the top place, but capture the outside.
But the West is also sending them better equipment and like longer range offensive equipment as well. So I mean, maybe their offensive can go get a bit more powerful.
I think this was the idea that they're going with is just fuck it. They want a war, fine, let's fight.
Yeah.
I think it's sad that it has to come to this, and a lot of like innocent people have been killed in horrendous ways, ways that I don't even think your brain could fathom. I think that's the thing about it. Like you hear these words. Of like what's happened to these innocent people and these young girls as well, and young boys, like fucking they didn't care, like it's you see the words and you're kind of like your brain just can't seem to fathom how horrendous some of this shit is.
Yeah. You hear the headline, you read the headline and stuff, and it doesn't. You're kind of you're horrified by it, but it doesn't really sink in. But I watched this Sky News report. Like I think I sent it to you a while ago. I think it was like right at the start of the war, but it kind of showed how kind of real it is, and you can hear the terror in the voices, and just you can hear the sounds of the bullets like whizzing past, and it's like that kind of sinks in like how terrifying it must be. And then one of the reporters was hit, and it's like, oh god, I just was like stunned watching it for like 5 minutes or
it's I'll be honest, trying to cover this stuff on the podcast is hard because I can't watch... Hello, puppies. I can't watch any footage of it. I genuinely get quite upset, and then I get like... I don't know how to explain the feeling. I don't know if uncomfortable does it justice,
Yeah.
It's horrifying to watch. I think the closest I get now is maybe I'll watch like a report that's sort of just talking about it in their studio or something. I'm like, oh, I can watch that. But it's, I don't know. Like, seeing, like, them running away when they were being shot at as well, Sky News, I think, was back, like, a couple of weeks ago, when they were being, like, shelled and shot at. Like, I think the one thing, if you talk to any kind of, military personnel, it's like, if you hear a bullet whiz past you, it's got your name on it, but it was misspelled. So, and I, like, when they say stuff like that, you sort of think, fucking hell, how would I feel if I heard that whizzing past my ear?
I felt just even 1% of the fear that they were feeling, like just watching it, and like, my god,
just makes you feel sick as well. It's like,
yeah, and they're like journalists. They're trying to shout that the journalists in the car, but the Russians don't care.
I mean, I gotta be completely honest. I give journalists a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of them are vultures, but the people that do this, that go into those war zones, knowing full well that they could die.
Yeah.
To try and report the truth on what's going on. Those people, fantastic. You're amazing.
Yeah.
These tabloid bullshits that talk about fucking celebrity gossip, you can fuck off. But these people, they are the people...
Price has had another boob job, by the way.
Great.
Yeah.
Like, these people that sit in a... Like, literally, I think one of the report... I think they're all back now, I think, because of everything going on. But when they were in Kiev and reporting, and you could hear, like... drops of like the attacks going on behind them, and you could hear the explosions and stuff as well. It's like, and they could see them, and it's put him. I couldn't do that. I don't think I don't think many people could. So
no. Well, the guy who was in this report, I think he's Stuart something. I forget his last name, but he did like a Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and people were asking like, why do you do this? Why? And he was like, well, it's just a passion of mine, and as soon as I'm better, I'm going to go back there.
Yeah, to report the truth as well.
It's just so important to report on it, because
absolutely,
without evidence, what?
Yeah, this is another thing as well. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I know journalists get a lot of shit, but the people that are doing this kind of stuff to show what horrors are happening, as proof as well, as evidence to use against Russia and their dictator. Absolutely, I take my hat off to them. Heroes in their own right, fair play. Just scary as fuck. Yeah. But I've got one more thing. Obviously, there's a lot more that's gone on. If you are interested, obviously look it up. But again, there's so much we can cover. So Russia have threatened more nuclear threats, kind of thing. If Finland, I think it was Finland and Iceland.
I
can't remember.
Definitely, Finland was one of them.
Yeah, I can't remember who the other person was, or the other country. Sorry, the other country that said they're going to join NATO, but Russia have threatened, nuclear warfare. If
anything, that's going to make them want to join in more. It's having the opposite effect.
I mean, I think they're doing it because they don't want NATO to get bigger, because then they've got more people to fight, essentially. But I think they've been trying to. Apparently, the UN have been trying to get. NATO, have been trying to get these people into NATO for ages, and they've just kind of said no, we don't really need to, it's not necessary, and literally Putin has done it in less than a month.
Yeah.
It's
quite weird, because I used to live with someone who was from Finland, and they told me they had like a deep-seated hatred of Russia. Like, I never understood why, but like all of the kind of bordering countries of Russia, they all like don't want to be part of the grip of Putin. So I can kind of understand why. They have this kind of deep-seated hatred. Yeah,
can you imagine Russia being your neighbour? It's like,
I know.
Oh, it's bad enough with the English. I'm joking, of course.
And the Scottish.
I'm joking, of course. I live in Wales. Sean lives in England, if you didn't know. So, I mean, again, more threats of sort of nuclear violence. I don't know if... I mean, Russia have been threatening this for ages now.
What does the bully do? He gets his biggest toy for himself.
I think the scary thing about it is that I genuinely believe that this new general that he's put in charge, and I think Putin as well, is crazy enough to do it. I don't think he would do the biggest one they've got, right? But I think he would do small enough that would cause large-scale damage, just to make a point.
Yeah.
But even that's
massive
dangerous.
Risk, though.
Yeah, I mean, if he threw a nuke, everyone throws a nuke, and then no one wins. Then no one wins. If this turns to nuclear war, we've all lost. That's just a guaranteed. We've all lost at that point. But this is why I think the West are trying to avoid it. Even if he throws one, I actually have a funny feeling the West wouldn't throw back because they're trying to avoid that. But I do think if he threw one, I think that the entire force of the West would probably just be like, right, fucking wipe out Russia. It just needs to go. But again, this is all speculative. Of course,
I think I'll be optimistic and say it's not going to get.
I don't think it will. Again, I think we've discussed this before. I don't think Putin.
I think he's definitely just a massive bully who likes to flaunt his things around, and even if he does have he does have nuclear weapons, but I mean, if judging by the state of the army, are they going to be equipped enough to actually launch them, or are they going to just categorically fail and blow up in their faces?
Oh, quite literally. Can you imagine? Fucking hell. But I think that's the thing, and I'm not sympathizing with the Russian army at all, but they have been lied to. They have had propaganda given to them. Again, I'm not saying like any kind of kindness towards them. The stuff they have done to innocent people is fucking disgusting and despicable, but they have been manipulated and lied to and forced not to see the truth. And I guess when you're in that position,
as far as you're concerned, you're fighting for your country.
Yeah, you're a hero, and you're doing the right thing by doing these horrific things. But it's like, how far? Like, is it really necessary to do that kind of shit to civilians? I don't know. It's an odd one. But I do kind of feel for them a little bit, I guess, in the sense of they're not getting the truth, but I'm not sympathizing at all with them because Jesus Christ, they have committed some of the worst acts since Germany.
It's a bit like if our country was completely isolated and, every single channel was saying how bad France were, for example.
Yeah.
And, how they're kind of evil, they've got Nazis there, or they're kind of targeting us. And literally that's all we hear. We don't hear any of the opposite side. We just kind of believe it, probably.
Yeah. It's true, yeah. There's so much misinformation, man. So much misinformation.
Yeah, any propaganda films, like, literally anything you do see, they've got a rebuttal for it.
Yeah, it's true. One last thing. Putin, fucking Biden, sorry. Biden saying, calling it genocide. Apparently that was an off-the-cuff comment that he stuck by as well. So a lot of people behind the scenes were panicking because they thought, oh dear God, he's just accused Putin of genocide. That's not a good look for the US president.
Yeah.
But Biden stuck
the man's got a point.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I applaud him for saying it, and
a lot of people have agreed with him. And...
Yeah, I think Macron said, like, oh, I wouldn't have said it, but like, yeah, Macron, you're a bitch. That's why.
He's also trying to win his election and stuff in France.
Yeah, I think it's also like he was the one trying to be diplomatic with Putin in the beginning, which is a joke in itself. He was the one that kept pushing for it. I think out of the EU members, I think all the other EU members were kind of like, "Oh fuck this guy, he's clearly
give him another chance. Give him another chance."
But Macron was like, "Oh, I'm going to go meet with him again. Maybe I can change his mind." You're going to give him some Mr. Sheen for his head.
Bring him some pastries and baguettes. And...
that's what Boris did. Would you like a vegan pasty?
That's why we're at war right now. Would you like some Marmite? Oh, what is this shit?
Yeah.
In Russia, Marmite eat you.
Oh, God. But yeah, so... a lot going on, a lot happening. It's updating every day. There's more and more stuff going on. We'll try and keep up with it, but that's all I've got.
Yeah, well, Priti Patel has introduced a new kind of immigration scheme where we're going to kind of send migrants to Rwanda.
Yeah, I saw a headline for this. I don't know anything about it though. What's going on?
Yeah, it's like basically because there's the massive problem with migrants kind of illegally crossing the channel. From France to this country. It's like up to 500 a day gets to like. Yeah. So it's like, how the hell do we house and look after all these people? So the scheme is that they're gonna start sending them to Rwanda. They've made it like a deal. It's apparently cheaper than keeping them here. I know, it's like it's ages away.
For fuck's sake.
So I don't know what's going on, but it's like, what is the answer? I suppose I don't really know. There is no kind of good answer. People are like horrified. Oh my God, you're sending them away. Imagine coming from one war torn, being so desperate to cross the channel, and then you've been sent to Rwanda. It's like, oh, it's your problem now.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, I think I'm not sure if I fully agree with it, but I'm not really sure what other options there are on the table. There's not going to be any good options. What are we supposed to do? Kind of just keep them homeless in this country?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be one of those that we find out more in the coming weeks, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh God!
It's kind of like, I think it's just another thing to kind of announce, just to deflect from the bad optics for Boris.
I mean, that's not great optics either, but I mean, I guess if we can't exactly
it's a very
house
conservative
all of them.
move.
Yeah, it is. We obviously can't house them all. I get that. But yeah, it does feel a little bit like, oh, it's not our problem anymore. We're just going to send them over here.
Yeah, a lot of true conservative voters will be quite happy with that. I think. Like, oh yes, get rid of the immigrants. Take them back to another country.
Yeah, because it's their fault.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of understand it in the sense of like, if we don't have the room or the necessary safety to look after them, then I can understand sort of maybe going to another country and going, look, we need a bit of help here. We've got too many coming in.
We are one of the most population dense countries per square meter of land or whatever.
Yeah.
Not sure what the actual scale is, but we're super dense compared to other countries which have much vaster land and space. So yeah, we can't keep kind of going on as we are, but I don't know what the solution is. I'm not paid enough to do this.
Yeah, it's literally this is just two guys talking about
it, but
But yeah, I mean, I like I say, I think my stance is just sort of, if we can't look after them or house them safely and securely and actually, viably, then yeah, maybe going to another country and saying, look, we need a bit of help here. We can sort the transport or do whatever to help out, but we can't house anymore. Can you help us and take some for us as well, so they're safe? You know, it's not a case of we don't want to take them. It's a case of we don't have room, so we can't. You know, but we want them to be safe, so at least we're facilitating that, I guess. But she's done it in a very piss poor fucking way of just being like, no, we're getting rid of them.
Yeah, it feels like it's very brushed out of the bag.
Yeah, it's I mean, and maybe that's the way to do it, because like it needs to be sorted quick. But I don't know. I don't work in the government. I don't fucking know. We only see a certain amount, like.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the news, I think.
Yeah, the news is...
The news can fuck off.
News can fuck off. News can fuck off now. Let's move on to gaming. How about that? Let's go on to gaming. A little bit of happiness. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So what any gaming stuff that you've heard of, good sir, or anything you've been playing?
I'll just steal your ideas.
Go for it.
No, I did write down here that The Witcher 3, the PS5 version has been like delayed indefinitely now, because I think one of the studios that's working on the kind of new remaster did the Switch version as well. I think they're based in Russia. So it might be one of the reasons why getting kind of pushed back and stuff. But
yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people looking forward to this. I was kind of holding out and playing it until the PS5 version.
Yeah, that's what I was doing as well. But I might just play it on PC
now. Yeah, that's what I've got written down. Have you got anything?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I've not got a lot either. I mean, I've got a few games that I've played
this week.
I've got a few games that I've been playing. So, Fortnite. Obviously, I've been jumping into that occasionally. I mean, I can't fucking believe how far you are in it already. Like, it's crazy.
I have been playing a bit of Save the World on that.
I need to go back on that.
Or I'll just load up a death run or something and listen to a podcast. I've been getting through a lot of podcasts recently. So.
Yeah, fair.
Well, I say a lot of podcasts. It's the same podcast, but it's just
lots of episodes.
Yeah.
I do the same pretty much when I go on it now. I think the thing is, I think I've burnt out on Fortnite now. I think the problem is that it's fun. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but like it's more of a game that I play to just have something on in the background so I can listen to whatever I'm watching or listening to.
Yeah, I don't recommend people kind of level up as fast as I'm.
Yeah, it does.
Because I will have nothing to do in the second half of the season. I'll literally not play it.
I mean, I went on it last night when I couldn't sleep, and I got a lot of stuff that I had to catch up on. I had like 2 full weeks, I think, of challenges. It's just been that long. So I caught up on a fair amount, but I realized after playing it for like an hour, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it's like an hour game. I'll play for like an hour and that's it then. Like, I just don't.
Well, it's mile wide. But in HD.
Yeah. to go on off of the Fortnite subject though, because obviously Epic, apparently Epic have just had obviously their new like load of sort of people giving money to them and stuff to sort of support them, and Sony's biggest investor, or Sony was one of the biggest investors, investing I think it was $1 million. Was it $1 million or $1 billion? Might be $1 billion. Yeah, because Epic got $2 billion in total, and I think Sony was one of the highest, giving $1 billion. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smart move, I think. Epic have clearly done a very good job with Fortnite, keeping it going, and with Unreal Engine 5, and it being so friendly to work with. I mean, why not? It's if it's going to benefit everybody.
It's like they're taking over a lot of online kind of games. I know Fall Guys is using Epic now.
Yeah.
I believe Predator Hunting Grounds was using Epic. It changed to that, so it's kind of like the online ecosystem. It's like quite big when it comes to Sony games.
Yeah, I think Epic have been quite smart with it as well. They've focused on that engine a lot, and seeing obviously, I can't remember how long it was. The Matrix demo came out. I think like 2 years. Was it like the beginning of the pandemic or beginning of the PS5? Unreal Engine 5 was shown off, and it was impressive to say the least. So, I mean. To invest $1 billion in that is quite smart, I think, on Sony's part. They're obviously going to get more news and sort of insider stuff. So, Smart move.
I know the next Tomb Raider is going to use the Unreal Engine, and the next Witcher.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised at that. I mean, CD Projekt Red dumping their Red engine after Cyberpunk, I'm not shocked. I think their Red engine is a good engine, and I think if CD Projekt really focused on that engine, say for the next couple of years, just to make it easier to use and more friendly, they could probably carry on with it. It's a good engine, but I think they're just so outdated on the engine, and they clearly found their limitations when it came to Cyberpunk. So I think it's a smart move to go to something like Unreal Engine 5, which is easier to use. They can do more in it quicker.
Yeah.
So smart move. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah. So interesting little side topic we had there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I have been playing a lot of recently is Halo Wars 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
I've been gone back to playing them a lot, which
Authentic
is
Salts.
yeah. Shout out to Salt. Interesting character. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's been fun to play. It's a nice little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So can't grumble too much.
Yeah.
Also dabbled in Jump King.
Oh yeah. I did watch some of that.
I like hurting myself. I really. Really like hurting myself.
It's like self-harm, but not as painful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, if I'm being honest, it's the only Rage game that I've actually sat down to play and actually had fun with, despite me getting upset.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's something about it that just makes it charming and addicting.
It was quite fun to watch, just to see how far you get, and see how far you rage, but you don't want to rage that bad.
I think I did start getting a bit frustrated in the end. I was like, ah!
Yeah.
But then I started fucking. I don't know half the shit I said. I started.
You did the text to speech though. Yeah. That was the first time we did that, I think.
Yeah, that was quite fun. I've still got that, but it's more a channel points thing. Doing it all that because it broke numerous times, so I've had to switch it to a different one.
It always gives me the fast talking guy.
It's like Sean is the fast talking one.
And everyone else gets the hello there. Hello there. God damn it.
Why? If it does it again, I'll switch you. I'll switch it to one that's better.
Swap me.
But yeah, so that's been interesting to dabble in as well. But
There's some PSVR 2 news.
Yes, PlayStation VR 2 has been sort of pushed back to next year, to the first quarter of 2023. It was meant to come out this December, the holiday season essentially. So that's a bit of a kick to PlayStation, but I'm assuming it's probably because of chip shortages or panel stuff, or for the actual visor and everything. So
yeah, I don't think many people are too worried because it is kind of a niche thing. There is already VR on the market, but I think this is going to be like kind of anotove level to it.
I think it's a more
quality.
simple one. Yeah, it's a more simple one. You just need the camera. So if you've got the PlayStation 5 camera and then you've got the remotes and the headset, that's all you need. You don't need anything.
The wires were a bit of a problem on the last one.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a pain, but it's literally wireless. I think it's wireless anyway. I think they described it as wireless, and you don't need sensors around your room or anything. It's like the camera will just pick it all up, which is good. Makes it easier. But, I am interested, to say the least, in it. I've always been interested in VR. It's just the pricing of it is absurdly high for what you get. So.
Interesting to watch some VR streams, wouldn't it?
I would try, but
God.
I've got a lot of horror stuff that I'm doing anyway.
Yeah. What was that one you were playing the other day? It was horribly scary.
I've got a couple that I'm playing. So I'm playing Angels of Death. That's the first one, which is like the 2D art, kind of pixelated art one, which is it's a fucking weird game, fam. But it's oddly, I don't know, charming. I've given the characters voices, which is weird. I don't normally do that, but I don't know, it felt right for this. The one I played was The Beast Inside. That's a fascinating one. It's one I wanted to play on stream for a long time, but I couldn't on my laptop because it just wasn't powerful enough to stream it at the same time. But that's really interesting. It's fascinating. It's gone in a direction I did not expect, like fucking technology and scanning like echoes and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And then Layers of Fear 2 as well. which I'll probably be playing Angels of Death and Layers of Fear 2 today on stream. So you guys won't have seen this. That's 2 days ago. At this point. If you're watching it on the Sunday anyway. But yeah, so no, I'm having fun playing a lot of horror games again. I've missed them.
I just remembered something. Another good juicy game that we can talk about.
Juicy.
The Division 2. It's getting a new title update with some new content. Yeah,
what?
Getting a new mode called Countdown. No, it's not got Anne Widdecombe. What's she called?
Anne Widdecombe. Anne Roberts. No. Oh god, what the fuck? What's her name?
I think it is Anne Robinson.
Susie. Oh, I don't fucking know.
Susie Lee.
Susie has a P. Oh god,
yeah,
that's a throwback. No, okay.
It's getting revived. There's got to be a whole new year of content, starting off with this new mode, which is 8 players, kind of launching into a mode where you kind of got to race against time and get in, get out.
That's quite shocking. I wasn't expecting that.
So yeah, it looks interesting, and I'll definitely give it a spin when it comes out, probably in the next month or two.
Yeah.
It's on PTS at the moment, so people are testing it, and all the elites are having their fingers all over it. So what we get might be a different story. So
yeah, I mean it's Division's a weird one for me, man, because I love the story to Division, and obviously we've had some fucking great times playing that game. But it's, I don't know, it felt like they just gave up on it and stopped caring, which was very frustrating.
Well, they did for a year, but then there was Massive was like, yes, we want more.
It's like, what just... I think it's because they're probably having to change stuff on Heartland. I think Heartland apparently it is free to play, but apparently it's a battle royale kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just like,
weird.
Fucking...
I saw some screenshots. It looks super cartoony looking. And
I don't get this fucking battle royale craze stuff. You're not going to beat Fortnite or Warzone. Why are you bothering? Just fucking do
Apex.
something else. Yeah, just do something else. Like, everyone is... unless you're playing Fortnite, Warzone, or Apex, people don't give a shit. This is evident by, every other fucking battle royale.
Yeah, just about every decision they make, it's kind of just expanding their user base, because obviously with the no build mode in Fortnite, that's what people have dreamed of for a while.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's not always what it turns out to be, but for some people, but that'll have brought a lot of people back. And so it's the third person battle royale game now, the third person battle royale game. Nothing can compete with that, and then you've got your first person ones like Apex and COD.
Yeah.
That is the market.
Yeah, literally. You're not going to beat that market anymore. But yeah, I don't know. The Division is such a strange one for me now, because I still love Division 2, and I still go back and play Division 1 on PC every now and then. And they are nice to go back and dive into for a couple of hours, but that's literally it. There's nothing else to do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I could go back in and do all of the fucking season again. I could get it done in a week. But it's
supposed to kind of appeal to the type of person who likes to grind weapons and different builds and stuff. But I don't really. I kind of just use the same weapons and stuff all the time, so it's a bit boring.
I think after I've used, you find the weapon that does the most damage in the style you play, and then you're like, I'm just going to stick with this.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, yes. But yeah, I mean, interesting, and I'll definitely keep my eye on that, because I wasn't aware of that, actually. So, that's a good one.
You'll update. It's been delayed so long now, but it's coming out, so... It's
coming.
And it's free.
Oh, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
Apologies for my yawning. I'm not. I swear I'm not doing it on purpose.
Shall we move on to TV? If you've got any.
I've only got one thing.
Okay.
I've got one thing on news and TV. It was the last thing I watched on Netflix before my thing rang out, which was the Jimmy Savile documentary that they had. It was quite an interesting watch, actually. I've watched a lot of stuff, because I've always wanted to understand how he got away with it, how he managed to manipulate his way into these high spaces. I do think the Netflix one was kind of behind. I think it basically just retraced most of the steps. Yeah, it just said the same shit that everyone else has. I think the interesting thing that I did find for it I guess their presentation of it, it's Netflix, so they had a much higher presentation
budget. Yeah,
but it was like everything else I already knew. It was like stuff that I'd already heard before. So I guess
like how many times can you kind of recycle it into a documentary when people know everything?
Yeah, exactly.
But I suppose he wraps it up in a very nice little bow, and I mean, it was a very good documentary. If you hadn't seen anything about James Savile before, then you'll find it absolutely riveting.
Yeah, watch it. It's got a lot of information in it. I'll give them that. They have a lot in there. But when you're the last person to basically make a documentary on it, you're gonna have a lot of information, aren't you?
I suppose it may have had more, maybe focus on the victims, some of the victims.
That's true, actually. Yeah, they had a lot more interviews with kind of victims of him.
Yeah.
And that was interesting to sort of learn kind of what he was doing specifically in moments,
Yeah, and it still like brings back that throughout all the documentaries you get a sense of how he was basically Santa Claus or like this just super powerful person which kids loved. Like he was literally the man who fixed everything for you.
Yeah. It's just the idea of some of the stuff he did as well. It's like,
yeah, I think I asked my mum about it. I don't think she ever wrote into him. She was like aware of him, but I think she thought he was. Like, everyone thought he was a creep, but everyone still loved him.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? He was such an anomaly because, and again, I'm not. It doesn't matter if I'm shitting on his looks anyway. It's Jimmy Savile, but he looks like a fucking creep.
Yeah, you just have to look at him to know.
He looks like a freak.
Avoid that person.
He looks like a freak. Like how the fuck did he get as far as he did?
I think that was an intentional look for him because I think he mentioned in the documentary, which may have been an exclusive to this one, where he you need to stick out. Nobody looks at you if you just look normal, so you've got to kind of stick out to be known. He's always wanting to kind of be the center.
Big personality.
Yeah, I used to blackmail establishments or people with charity.
Like crazy, and I mean, like one thing that. Well, I guess I said they do rehash a lot of shit, don't get me wrong, but there was the interesting thing that the police force were getting like letters of concern and they did nothing with it because they were friends with Jimmy. Like the actual police involved were friends with him.
Afternoon club.
Yeah, fuck, it's so creepy to know that this all happened, and yet if that was anyone else, he would have been caught. They would have been caught. Like it didn't matter. But he had a way. And it's just fucking terrifying, really, isn't it?
He's just like a one-man factory. He just, managed to get away with it.
Like, what the fuck? And his fucking funeral. Like, the hell do you think he was? Like,
I know, and he knighthood and everything. Fooled everyone. But yeah, that's Jimmy Savile.
Fucking creep. Yeah, fucking nonce. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen anything on it before, where the fuck have you been living? But also... I do recommend the Netflix documentary. It's probably the most comprehensive sort of squished down stuff that you'll get. It's about 2.5 hours long, 2 episodes. Very
bingeable.
Yeah, it is very easy just to sit down and watch it. And again, the way they've presented it, I guess, is to their advantage. Netflix have sort of got the documentary style down to a T at this point, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. What more can you say? He was a nonce. Like that's literally it,
So yeah, there's a series on Apple TV I watched, which I mentioned in the last podcast, Severance. I've now completed it. It's one of the ones directed by Ben Stiller. It's very good. Yeah, quite pretentious, but quite good. I found the bits where they're actually severed in the office thing a bit more interesting than the outside. The outies, they call it. The innies and outies. Innies and outies. So I found the innies more interesting than the outies.
Isn't that belly
buttons? I did
buttons?
kind of fall asleep during some of the outie section.
Isn't that just belly button stuff?
Yeah, maybe. That's where the idea came from.
Yeah, probably. Well, so
belly button or, Ben Stiller's Jewish, isn't he? So,
yeah, second goes in and out easier.
Anyway. Yeah, the season finale definitely wrapped it up a bit, and it's quite intense and enjoyable. Looking forward to season 2, but will I forget about it in a few months? Probably.
Yeah.
Well, stay with it. It's a good one.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's good.
So I do recommend it. Like, if people are struggling to find stuff to watch on Apple TV.
Yeah.
I started watching season 4 of Killing Eve, literally just one episode into that one. So it's quite good so far. Yeah, I can't really say much about it, but I'm enjoying it. I did love the first 3 seasons.
Yeah,
it's got a unique kind of musical flair to it.
Yeah, it's. I remember when we sat down to watch. Oh God, what was it called? Oh, fucking memory is complete shit.
What?
Yeah, the comedy one. What was it called?
Fleabag, yeah.
Fleabag, yes. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were watching that, you suggested Killing Eve. You said it's very similar. You know, there's similar moments.
I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge kind of had something to do with the production of Killing Eve as well, so it's got that kind of
makes sense.
Witty dialogue and stuff.
I did love Fleabag. It's very good.
But Fleabag is a whole different
gay priest.
He's just, a sexy priest, wasn't he?
Is he? Oh, fuck. Yeah. No, makes sense. Of course, he's gay in real life.
Evil stepmom.
Yeah. Oh, she did a good dead.
Olivia Colman. So.
Yeah, she's a fantastic actress, she is.
Yeah. Go watch Fleabag, everyone.
Oh, yeah. No, seriously, go and watch it.
Season 1 and 2.
I think that's probably one of the best shows.
I look like a pencil. You look French.
Yeah, if you're American, you might not understand some of the humour, but
yeah,
you'll still have a good time with it.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't really think of much else I have watched.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I haven't really watched much more than that. So hopefully the next one I would have watched more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a bit more organisation. I don't know, probably not, but I'll try. But yeah.
Well, shall we move on to our final section?
Onto the interesting things. What interesting thing have you got this week, Sean?
Well, I'll start off with the first one. Lola, you're gonna fall off. Come on.
Oh, puppy, no.
She's like tensing. She like really thinks I'm gonna like trust. She's trustful, and I'll just catch her all the time. But that's not the case, Lola.
No, they have to be careful.
So I was going to say about the cost of living crisis.
Okay.
Obviously, with bills and whatever going up, like a lot of people are kind of sacrificing kind of non-essential things and stuff like that. And it made me thinking about like restaurant. Like I went to a restaurant on last week.
Yeah.
Oh, not last week. This week. Time's just merging into one.
Yeah, it's fucking can't tell anymore.
It just struck me how like empty it was, and and how kind of disappointed I was with it as well, because you think going to restaurants is going to be this kind of special thing. I tried to order something nice. Maybe I'm just not going to the right places, but it kind of left me thinking that was a waste.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything like you kind of consider cutting back on? And
oh, interesting question. You bring this up recently. Yeah, I've cut back on everything, man. Like, it's crazy. I think the only things that I've got now is Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So cutting back on the entertainment.
That's it. I haven't got Netflix anymore. I haven't got Spotify, which I've had Spotify since 2016. That's how long I've been subscribed to it, and just I don't know. It's such a strange. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, advert. Okay, yeah. Yeah. But I admittedly, I think mine is more also to do with sort of outstanding things that I'm paying off, and also trying to help my mum a little bit more. At least that's my goal in the long run. Because her hours have gone down as well, so she's having to try and like scrounge money from anywhere. Like it's shocking how quickly it's sort of hit me, because I'm very, very lucky. I live with my mum. I barely pay any bills, but even I'm having to sort of cut back on stuff, even though I have a healthy amount of money coming to me every month. I think part of that's also because I'm an idiot and I'm not good at managing properly, but. Especially with my mum, I've noticed it a lot. Like I think our electric or our heating went up by like 100. I think both did. No, like even though it doesn't sound like a lot, when you start adding it up, it's fucking insane. It's like having like 3 new bills. Yeah, that you've got to pay every month. Like it's
gas
crazy.
And electric and fuel and everything.
Yeah,
it's just like absolutely ridiculous. The government trying to bring in schemes to cut back on things. 5p they got rid of the fuel.
Oh, fucking so stupid. It's it's crazy to me. I don't know. I think it's also quite worrying as well. Like, I know I mentioned this in the last podcast. I'm having cold showers. That's still happening. I'm not joking. Like, I'm trying to save on the heating because it's just the heating companies now. Some of them are like fixed rates, and then some of them go, "Oh well, we think you've gone over."
Yeah.
So they just charge you. They just charge you more, and it's like they know that's not how much you've got to pay, but they're fucking. They're like, "Fuck
we'll
you."
give it you back when we finally did sums, but can't be us now.
Yeah, it's like fuck you over now, but maybe we'll help out later.
Our heating, there's something like wrong with the heating and the hot water. So whenever you want to put the hot water on, the heating comes on as well. So we need to get that fixed. But we've literally put that on the back burner.
Yeah, it's so long. There's so many more things.
Because there's so many things. Luckily it's getting a bit warmer, so we can switch it off. I've not even had anything on today, but and we've got an electric shower, so that's quite good.
Electricity is probably my biggest crux. I use a lot of electricity. I mean, just
at least it's not on.
It's not on there, but I have an AC unit. I have this laptop, the screen. I fucking do. It's last year nearly killed me, and I paid for this myself, but it's something that uses a fuck ton of power. So I have to be so careful now when I turn it on because it's otherwise you're wasting electricity, literally. Yeah. So.
It's a sucker of electricity.
It's a sucker. It's also I think when you look at a plug socket or something, if you have a tower full of 10 plugs and they're all full, you've got to start questioning how much shit you have.
What your priorities are.
Yes, I don't need all this. This is ridiculous.
Do I really need this lava lamp from 20 years?
I haven't a lava lamp in years. I miss lava lamps.
I know. Never actually had one, I think. I think I had a mini one.
Yeah, I think I had a mini one. I think my friend had a big one, but I
just stare at it.
I was always the smallest.
Stare at the big one.
Oh, I do. But yeah, no, it does. Admittedly, the last month I have had to sort of reevaluate a lot of stuff. So much so that I even sat down, worked out my entire finances, how much I can save, how much I can give my mum, how much I can do. I had to be an adult, Sean. I know I'm 25, but I still don't feel it.
Yeah. It's just I suppose for me, it's the kind of going out and doing things, which has been taking a hit as well. Because obviously I went to that restaurant. It's not been out in felt like 2 years.
Yeah.
And things just aren't the same anymore when you got that kind of feeling in the back of your head that you actually have to spend money to do.
Yeah.
And also being a cook as well, you're I can make that. I had a gyros, a Greek wrap thing with chicken, and it's I've made this before, it is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think an interesting question that I have for you then on this subject, obviously, taxes and stuff have gone up. What's it like being self-employed at a time where sort of inflation, tax rises, all this stuff? How's that impacted kind of your work and stuff? Obviously, not to go into details with it.
Yeah.
But
it does have an impact. Of course, you have to kind of fill in all the forms and all the estimates and stuff you got to fill in every April. Well, so I have to. But I think I don't quite hit the threshold where it's absolutely killer. But yeah, it still takes its toll. Luckily, I got my car insurance. My car tax hasn't changed in years, so that's only 20 quid. And my insurance was actually £5 cheaper this year. So
hey, there you go. that £5 can go on your tax now.
But there's things like that are necessities which I don't kind of worry about too much. Which that has been saved for that, so that is what is going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the leisure things, it's do I really need that extra coffee, or
Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah, it's definitely a strange.
I know. Well, I mean, that's kind of a first world problem compared to some people when they're eating or eating. And
yeah. Absolutely. We're not sitting here going, life's so hard, it's so difficult. Yeah, but just as a general kind of rule of thumb, it is it has impacted a lot of people, and I think there are people out there now that are going to struggle to eat, that are going to struggle to heat their homes or have hot water. Like, and I think the fact that, you know, people in positions like us, where we are, you know, lucky to be in the positions that we are, and we are safe and we are okay, and we are still having to sort of deal and manage with like electricity and heating and stuff, even though we're comfortable. You can't imagine how someone is struggling, you know, without being in a comfortable position. You know, someone that barely got by before, you know, what the fuck's going to happen now, you know? So
yeah,
it's a bigger story behind our first world issues.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
It certainly wasn't meant as a
of course, yeah.
But
we would never do such a thing. We joke about it, but we would never actually do.
I suppose it kind of leads on to the next topic, which is the whole class system debate. It's like, are we obsessed with the class system in this country? Like there will always be higher class, middle class, lower middle class, higher middle class, lower class.
So many classes.
And they always kind of are divided in many ways, which in other countries they may not be. Like, what do you think? Like, it is. I don't really know how to phrase a question about this, but
what's kind of the view on these different classes and whatnot? Yeah,
why we're obsessed with them and stuff.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Honestly, I've never even fucking thought about it. If I'm being truthful, I think when I was young, like when I was like a very young kid, you know, like before the age of like 4 or 5, I think I was in the poverty line with my mum. I think me and my mum were in poverty. She had a lot of help from like child support, I think, and we at one point I think we were that family that were like heating our food. You know, thankfully my mum then got a sort of managed to sort of get into a job that paid her enough to look after me, as well as, you know, as long as she had the child support help, she could sort of pay both and was okay.
Yeah.
But she couldn't save any money. Like, she couldn't save up for anything. I think when we moved here when I was 6, about nearly 20 years ago now, that's scary to say. Yeah, I think we were in a bit more of a comfortable position, but it wasn't sort of comfortable. It was still living on the line. Like, every penny was used by my mum. Like, nothing was saved. And I think, I never thought about the class system really until more recently, when kind of it's been coming up more and talking about poverty and stuff. I think it's quite jarring, actually, because I never suspected it, and I think that's a fault on my part, just not the. I think it also just shows the privilege that I've had through my life.
The people in power have got like 20 properties in the country. And
that's something I've never understood, is why someone needs 20 fucking properties.
I know.
Or why the government seems to think that MPs need to have 4 houses. Like,
why is there not a limit on this?
What the fuck? Why is this a thing? It doesn't make sense. Like, I've always been under the mindset of, you only need 1 house. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why? Maybe, okay, if you're like a celebrity or something, maybe you have 2 because you're going to like another country for a few months. So that's why you have 2 properties. All right. But why do you need fucking 5? Like, I mean, if you're renting them out, maybe, but still, wouldn't you want to give that to someone else? Like, what? Like,
I think in our family, we've always kind of been about lower middle class, you know, like kind of comfortable, but still we have to watch, you know, what we're buying and what the incomes and outcomes are. Yeah. But I think in like my extended family, it's quite a big thing where they always talk about I don't know how to put it, but like kind of wealth in a way, like trying to act like posher than they are. Like, the whole family is kind of lower middle class, I'd say, but some of them act like they're not. And they're like, there's this north-south divide, you know, they're always going on about, because, you know, a lot of them live in the south, and it's like, it's all fine. We live in the Cotswolds. Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of bragging around that, which is a bit, you know, it's like, it's so stupid. Like, no one pays it. It's like, it's not done in like a menacing way or anything. We have a laugh about it and stuff, but it's a bit like, why is it even a thing? Like,
I think, I can relate to that. I've got family that live in England. The sort of the distant family to me, but like to my mum, is like her cousins and things like that. We got to meet them when we had my granddad's funeral, because they came down to see him. fuck me, you could smell the wealth. It was ridiculous. I was like, fucking hell, I'm related to these people.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
I look like I belong in a fucking bin. These people like look like they've come out of Hollywood. Like it was, and I think that's the only time I've ever seen like a jarring difference, right?
Yeah.
And it was with my own family, so I was like, what the fuck, you know? And when I see that, it's quite. Admittedly, I think I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't kind of jealous of it in a sense, because I was like, I've had to fucking struggle with my mum all my life. It's just been us. The fuck, like, why is this fair? How is this a thing? But then, you know, I don't know what they had to go through to get there, you know, and this system of like rich, middle class, poor, it's shit, and everyone should be equal.
Feels like they don't mix.
Yeah. Get away from me, you know, that typical get away from me, peasant.
Different worlds.
Yeah, it is.
And if you just kind of, you know, you're saying about you and your mum, you weren't aware of it until you met them, you know, you could have never been aware of it, and you just like kind of everyone kind of lives within the means and stuff. Don't
exactly. I think it's weird, because I think, especially when you see it in kind of people you're related to as such, it's like, well, what the fuck? I thought, how is a family split like this? Mm-hmm. How does that work? You know, like, I have family in Australia. I was like, what the fuck? What? You know, but I mean, I don't know. To me, it always feels like it's never going to be a level playing field, like, no matter what happens. No. Like, I think the richer you are, like, you know, I know people go, oh, well, the richer you are, the easier life is. I don't always think that's true because of money. I think there's obviously little fucking alleyways that they can take that are easier for them. Yeah. You know, for the poor, it's like every penny counts. It just means you kind of
don't get to understand what it's like.
Yeah,
at the bottom.
It's ironic. As the poorest people, it's the hardest to save. As the richest, it's the easiest to find tax breaks and, you know, ways to get around having to spend your money. It should be the other way round. Like, I know. You know, that makes no sense to me, and that is a system. I've said this to my mum. I've said this to a lot of people. This government system we have in the UK, it needs to go. It needs to be ripped apart and restarted, because something just doesn't make sense here. You know, and you know, it doesn't matter if Labour's in charge. It doesn't matter if the Green Party were in charge. It doesn't matter who's in charge. There is always going to be a disparity until that disparity is broken back down to its base levels. Yeah. But that's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. And I think if I had to give my honest opinion of these levels and what I think it's wrong. You know, but
it's like the richest handful of people in the country have more wealth than like everyone else combined.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's wrong, but it's never going to change because no one is going to rip this entire system apart to refix it.
No,
the only time that's going to happen,
they're the ones that control the system.
Yeah, exactly. Ironically, the people in charge, you know, are the rich ones. So I think the only way it'll ever change is if there's like a restart button. And, you know, I think we've been closer than ever to that recently.
Putin's hovering over it right now.
I'll restart it for you. I mean, but yeah, I think if honestly, it's wrong, but it's never going to change. And I think that's the more destructive thing and the more upsetting thing, I think, to it is there's never going to be a difference here with this disparity. Wealth and rich will corrupt.
Yeah, I think it's also like going back to the kind of class. Well, I suppose it's still on class, but you know.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just the British way. I think of like kind of we're all kind of like prudish, but we love to say where we came from. You know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you get it as much as like America. There's less kind of focus on it.
I think this generation is different. I think we're not so much like that, but I think that's mainly because most of us are in the lower area. So it's harder to be like, oh yeah, no, I understand what it's like to drink tea from a sippy cup.
I feel like the boundaries are for like the higher class, you know, sipping coffee in, you know, the chambers, and the lower class, you know, back in my day, I worked 6 6-year-old.
£2 for 6 lagers. That's fucking good, isn't it?
All I had was a bowl of hay and a bowl of hay to munch on, and I slept on a blue tacky rug. That was it.
You know.
Whoa, oh, you had a shaggy rug. That was a luxury. Oh, I had a bowl of stones.
Yeah, there was like a comedy sketch. I can't remember how long back, probably like 1940s.
Yeah, I think that's what I was.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. They just go on for like a full 10 minutes of just, well, I had this.
Well, I worked 120 hours a week in a mill. I ate nothing but
the best of was they were like, well, I worked 36 hours in a day and fucking. You're like, what?
I slept on nothing but a pile of cardboard in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I think one of my family actually.
The good old days.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, yeah, it's ironic.
Outdo each other.
Yeah, I think it's ironic. I think that was a very prominent British thing to do. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's so much now, but I myself, do you know what? I've probably done it at some point. I've gone, well, I've had to deal with this and this and that. Oh, I was born with a disability. Like when I was younger, I probably flaunted that shit. But I think as I've got older, I've kind of just gone, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, why aren't we working together here? Why is it? Yeah, like that's more important. But yeah. Again, class system, fucking, it's fucked.
Yeah, we're all human beings. We all, eat, shit, sleep.
I certainly shit.
No, we shit. We shit together sometimes.
Sometimes we hold hands, like the Roman days.
Sometimes we smell each other's poop.
A question for you for the last interesting thing. Do you think we should bring back Roman baths?
Sounds kind of sexual.
Probably would be. It probably would be.
Maybe it's a little experience, yeah.
A little experience, eh?
A little experience. Not full time, every bath you have to have, every bath you take is a Roman bath.
Every time you're out in public and you want to shit, you got to share the cubicle.
Yeah. What about you? What?
Oh, fuck no. I'm bad enough with people as it is. I couldn't shit next to someone. But yeah. Maybe it might be fun.
Unless it was Henry Cavill, maybe you'd shit next to him.
I don't even know if I'd shit. I'd probably just stare at him. I'd just stare at him. It's so pretty. But yeah. Oh, that was an interesting way to end. Well, at least we ended on a light-hearted joke and note.
Yes.
Right? Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed it.
That brings an end to this podcast. Was it 56, 57? I can't remember.
I don't fucking know. It's been. I struggle to remember anything these days. But yeah, it's been a good few episodes. I think this might have been. I think if we're counting all of them, then it would be something like 56. Yeah, but I think we're at 54. I think officially.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hope you all have a great Easter weekend.
Enjoy yourselves. Obviously, still stay safe. It's still a thing.
We've not even talked about it today.
No, I know. We're not going to mention it. But, we're not going to say its name. It's fucking out there, so just be careful. But, have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. And, of course, make the most of it. But, yeah, thank you, Sean, for joining me, as always, with the podcast. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. That's the British way as well, apologising and saying thank you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Talking to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I apologise.
Yeah. But, no, it's been a good one. Again, sorry there were very few things that were in it, but it's been a bit of a stressful week for myself and for Sean. So, but yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do a live one. I don't know, maybe we'll plan it out and we'll do it somehow. It could be a lot of fun now as well with a few more people that
could stretch out for a good 2 hours, 3 hours maybe.
Ooh, sexy. Yeah, because we didn't do something special for the 50th, so maybe belated special.
Yeah. And it could be a bit more interactive.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean we used to do them live, but
yeah.
But I don't know why we started. I think
we're just gaming as well. It's just like a conversation while we were gaming.
Because that's what we do anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hello, Robin. I know you're probably listening. But
hello.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves, guys. Have a good Easter and stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.